Well, hello. Welcome to week one of OMGT 309 Managerial Marketing. Each week I will send out about a 5-minute video or vignette talking a little bit about the context of marketing for the week and what we're studying. Though this is a little weird for me to talk into the screen in my office. Probably weirder for you to look at Jim Morrison on one side and now I see Albert Einstein on the other. Hopefully it'll be helpful for you. So let's just talk a little bit about the course and then what the area of work or content is for week one. So marketing, of course, is a strategic function of business. It fits in with the other functions of business, accounting, finance, IT, HR, management. And I would make the argument as a marketer that without marketing, really all the other functions can't exist. And why would that be? Because when it's all said and done, at the core of marketing really is for people to recognize that the organization that's trying to communicate with them has value. And if it has value, they'll exchange value, dollars, and have a sale. And if you don't have sales in a business, you don't have anything to account for. You have nothing to finance. You have nothing to manage. You have no money to buy IT. So really, without sales, you can't have an organization. And without that, there's no point in existing because all businesses, at least for-profit businesses, are in business to make a profit. And marketing's core responsibility is, when it's all said and done, to sell. You can make the argument, the chicken and the egg argument, that really you need marketing for all the other functional areas to work. Now, I should say that marketing is a strategic function. So when an organization, for or not for profit, sets their strategy through their mission, vision, and values, marketing really is part of that conversation. For decades, it had not been, and now marketing is becoming a little bit more important in the strategic motion and direction of an organization. So it's going to flow from those managers, executives that set the direction of the business, and they're going to have marketing in mind with all of the other strategic functions. So let's just look at marketing specifically. Marketing by definition is creating, communicating, and delivering a message of value. The key to that definition, that sentence of creating, communicating, delivering a message of value, the key word is value. The only time that we buy stuff is when we see value, and we attach value to the dollar amount that we are exchanging. So we give an organization something, money, and they give us something in return that we feel is of equal or greater value. Now, let's be mindful that that value is that's attached to the price really is two components. One is functional, what it's going to do for you, a haircut, a meal, law advice, a shoe, a shirt, a car, a home, a DVD player, whatever. Is there even DVD players anymore? Whatever we purchase, right? It's going to do a functional thing for us, but it's also going to provide value in the psychological, or what we call hedonic. So there's this functional or utilitarian side to it, and then there's this hedonic or psychological side. So we also buy things and see value in what it gives us, this yielding that we talk about in marketing. Yielding is a word that gives us lift, or is a release of serotonin. And so when it's all said and done, like as I said, marketing's function, strategic function, is for people to understand that their product or service has value, and therefore they're willing to exchange that value. That value can come in the form of functionality and hedonism or psychological lift. In some, it could be weighted more than the other. Specifically, then, marketing is going to do this, creating, communicating, and delivering a message of value through its toolbox. So it brings a toolbox to work every day. That toolbox is what you might have heard referred to as the marketing mix, or the 4 Ps. And that would be price, product, promotion, and place. And it uses those 4 Ps to create, communicate, and deliver that message of value. Largely, we think of marketing and promotion as the same. They're not. Marketing is the function. One way in which marketing strategically and tactically does its stuff is through promotions which support the price, product, and place. So marketing is not just advertising, it's a part of it. Marketing is not just promotions, it's a part of it. So it fits together. And marketing, really good marketing, strategic marketing, leverages those 4 Ps, price, product, promotion, place, and which we will talk about, of course, throughout the remainder of this term. So specifically, this week is focusing on consumer behavior and segmentation. Of course, it also in the beginning talks about why marketing management is important. I already said it's an important strategic function, of course, because it's kind of responsible for sales. But you could also argue that it's important because there's a resource that we use for marketing, human and capital, and we have to justify it as marketers that there is a return on investment. So it also serves an important role. The management of the marketing function is we have to justify as marketers that what we're doing actually has a return on investment, as most things in business now are measured with that ROI metric, what we spend versus what we gain. So specifically, let's take a look at kind of chapters 2 and 3. 2 is on consumer behavior, and 3 is on segmentation. And if we kind of put those together in this short little vignette here, in order for us to create and communicate and deliver a message of value that works, we need to focus on consumer behavior. We need to understand consumer behavior. Once we understand and acknowledge how we behave as consumers, that we go through the decision-making cycle, need recognition, search for alternatives, evaluation of alternatives, purchase and post-purchase decision evaluation, we can craft our communications in a strategic way that has a better return on investment, which requires us to do some research up front prior to going about and creating, communicating, and delivering that message of value. So understanding how we behave, why we behave, when we behave, where we behave is really critical to the marketing function and the strategic managerial function of marketing, is understanding how we interact as human beings. And then segmentation would be a part of that, knowing that we can't sell to everybody. We shouldn't sell to everybody because that's inefficient and ineffective. We need to recognize that our market is to a finite group of folks that are willing, wanting, and able to buy our goods and services. So we take a large market, for instance, the pizza market, which is a large billion-dollar industry in the United States, and we break it up into separate segments through the process of segmentation. So the process of segmentation is basically just taking a large market and breaking it up into definable chunks or groups. We do that through looking at demographics, psychographics, geographics, behavioristic, usage rate. All of those different bases of segmentation allow us to break up a group of folks into definable, identifiable, measurable groups that we can then better communicate to, knowing that some are more willing, able, and wanting to buy our product or service than the others. And in doing so, it's going to make us more efficient, more effective, which is going to drive our return on investment. There are some pizza eaters out there that simply don't want a thick crust pizza, or some that don't want a thin crust pizza, or some that are vegetarian and some are not. That's why we have different varieties. And we need to have then different varieties, of course, of markets for a large market or industry. And knowing consumer behavior and knowing the segment is going to allow us to work our marketing mix of price, product, promotion, place in a more efficient and effective way. So the big takeaway really for the beginning of this course and the first several areas of study is to recognize that the strategic function of marketing and the managerial portion of marketing is not at the tactical level, which is our knee-jerk reaction. So usually when we play word association with marketing, we think advertising, TV commercial. That is a very small slice of what marketing does. Marketing is strategic role is much more deep and integrated into the overall strategy of the organization. And much of the work that is done in marketing is not seen. It's done through understanding the consumer, breaking the market up, and then crafting messages to have them think in the decision-making process about our product rather than the competition, that our product or service is more valuable than the competition, and we use words and symbols and images that we know will resonate with them through that research.